Remember when writing codes felt like solving some ancient scrolls? Now, fast forward with AI, it's like having a genius co-pilot literally by your side. The only thing stopping you from building the next Facebook is your imagination and maybe your wallet, but not today, because with the app I'm about to show you, you can vibe code any of your dream apps totally free without actually paying a dime. And I guess I am talking too much. Come, let me show you how this works. So the tool I'm talking about is Trae AI. You can access it by going to trae.ai. After signing up, which is very easy, I just use my Google account to sign up. You can go ahead and download the tool, and this is how the interface looks. It's quite easy to use, just as you would use Cursor, which is one of the top leading AI IDEs that we have out there right now. The only downside for some people might just be the pricing, which even when it comes to pricing, Cursor AI is still the best when comparing it with other paid tools out there. The interface is quite easy to navigate because from here, this is what you see. I actually tried using it for some projects, and that's what you can see here. But let's make this video more interesting. I want to build an app, just an app for this video, but at the moment we are going to find out what app we would build based on just some random ideas that we have. So for this, let's head up to ChatGPT and just ask it to give us an app idea. So on ChatGPT, I gave it a background of what I am using to build the application, and I said it's Trae AI because ChatGPT is smart. I mean, it would know, since this is Trae AI, this is how Trae AI would want its prompt to be. At least I thought so. That was why I mentioned the particular platform that I'm going to use. And then after that, I mentioned that the app should do something basic. And at this stage, I didn't really know what app to build, but I just needed an app idea. So I asked it to give me 5 different app ideas so we can go from there. And it gave me a list of app ideas, and as I keep scrolling, you might see one that you like, but I just liked idea number 5, which, yeah, this is my video, so I'm free to choose which one I like, right? And then after that, I told it that, all right, fine, I like idea number 5, and it should give me a detailed prompt to expand the app functionalities. And for this, you know, it's something that you may totally have all the ideas that you want to build that particular app. That's fine, but then this can still be a foundation to which you can have something functional, and from there you can pick out the features that you want, and the ones that you don't want can be eliminated. So these are the core features of the app, and it actually named it, it gave it a name, Quick Budget AI, which is nice, just a nice touch. And then I think that's what I'm going to use. And then from there, it listed out all the features, and then I didn't really like how it did this because I would have preferred to just have something that just looks so in a paragraph form. And even though this is really nice, I think I am going to use it after all. But then I asked it to give me a paragraph form idea, and this is what it did. And look at this, it used my region and converted, I mean, the currencies to Naira. This has a lot of space to accept a lot of text, so I'm just gonna try using the entire idea we have here, and this is going to be what we would use. So I'm going to just switch up, I mean, part of the intro, and just tell it to build a web application using PHP and MySQL. All right, so this is what I came up with. Build a web application named Quick Budget AI using PHP and MySQL, the technologies I'm comfortable with. that lets users log everyday expenses, and everything here I just copied from ChatGPT. And I also added this before typing the features. So we have what we have here, and because this is free, we are free to use any of the models that we have here, which is really interesting. I mean, on the free version of Cursor AI, you can't use the Claude 3.7 Sonnet, but you can use 3.5 Sonnet, which is also really nice. I mean, but then it has its own limitations. So for this, since we have access to use this, I believe I can go ahead and use the 3.7 Sonnet. But some people have been complaining about the stability of 3.7 Sonnet, even though it's much more clever. So I'm just gonna stick with it. Then, just like Cursor AI as well, assuming we have an image, maybe a screenshot or something that we want to just give it as a context, then we can just add it as a screenshot and tell it to follow. So let's say we have a website that we want to follow exactly how it looks, or maybe make our own tweaks. We can give it as a context, and then we tell it what to either add or remove. We can also just give it a context based on a set of instructions that we would want to, and this would apply if you want to do something like building a WordPress theme, for instance. So when you are adding a context, it adds a specific set of rules that govern the creation of that particular item that you want to create. And for this, we can also choose the agent that we want to use, but then I am not having any agent here, except if we want to build with MCP, which is an entirely different topic on its own. But then we would just stick with Builder, which builds a project easily. So for this also, we are expected to create a folder, because everything that should be done here needs to be done within a folder. So I have created the folder, and right now every activity we do would be within this folder. Now, unlike Cursor AI, where as you add a folder, you see it automatically just reflecting here, for this you have to start doing something within the folder before you see it take effect. And when I was using this at first, I thought the folder wasn't even added, so I had to create a new folder from here, and then I realized it was just creating a folder within the folder that we already had. And then I'm going to paste the prompt that we've already copied, and for this I am just going to run it. So clicking on send would start doing the thing, but then one downside that I've seen with Trae AI as compared to Cursor AI is the inability to accept all at once. I mean, when you have a page created and a code has been written on that particular page, unlike Cursor AI where you can just accept all at once, for Trae AI it's not really something that I've seen working. Yes, we have accept all showing right now. I'm not sure if this is going to continue, but then let's see how it goes, because for the project I've worked on, you have to be accepting the changes one by one per file. So if you have up to 50 files, it means you have to click on accept 50 times. But then this is what's doing right now. It's creating the database. It has already created the index page, and this is the schema. So this is really interesting because we already have the readme file, which I didn't really ask it to do so, but this is the rule of thumb. So it's going ahead to do all those things. So it's telling me code is almost ready, and I guess we would just have to wait and see what this comes up with. All right, so it's now complete, and I know I asked ChatGPT to give me a prompt for a simple app just for demo purposes, but this has created up to 23 files, and this is the folder. So it's a very detailed application. I haven't run it yet because we need to first of all import the database, which is what we're going to do right now. But before we do, I would just assume that everything we've seen or everything it has done is correct, so we would just click on accept all. But the aim of this is for you to be able to go through each file and see if each file, based on what you have here, has some things that you need to change, or you can actually manually just you can see edit the code. But then let's just assume everything here is correct, so I'm just going to click on accept all, and this has added the pages into the folder we created. And when you come to the folder we created, you see all the pages here, and this is a database file, so it named it schema.sql, but then the actual database name from Trae AI is not schema. I mean, the database name, when you enter schema.ai, you would see that the name of the database is Quick Budget AI, which matches the name of the application. So I'm just going to create a database here on phpMyAdmin and then import what Trae AI has already just generated for us. So all things being equal, it should import the database, and this is what we have. When you click on the database itself, you see that it has some tables already. You see that it has a users table and all that, but this is really nice. So from here, let's try accessing the application, and this is what we see. So it takes us to a page where we can register or log in, but then we don't have an account yet. So why don't we try registering? This is a functional app as it stands, and I really like what I'm seeing. I mean, how long did it take us to build a fully functional app for free? This is not a new technology anymore because we have the likes of Cursor already in existence, but then imagine having a system like this and you are using it for free. I don't know how long it's going to stay for free, but for now this is still working. So let's try creating an account. All right, so let's give it a password and we would choose our currencies. So yeah, Nigerian Naira is there, and then the monthly budget, well, this is optional for now, so we would be able to register. Oh my goodness, this is really nice to see. I mean, it added some of the icons we would have gone out of the world to get. And yes, so today's spending, what did you spend? I spent this on this. And look at this, this is a very functional application, and we have a tab for transactions, we have a tab for settings. Okay, so we have no settings page, we also have no reports page, and this is the perfect way to test it, right? So let me just try clicking on transactions, reports, so there's no reports.php and there's no settings.php page, but then we have a transactions page. So if we go back to dashboard and I click on coffee, so I grabbed coffee and this is how much I spent. This is fine. Now this is the perfect way to build an app in the 21st century using AI. So how do we fix this? We don't have reports page and we don't have settings page. All we need to do is to come back to Trae AI and then tell it in the most common basic English that we can, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So here's it. I said I just noticed that the settings.php and reports.php pages are not found. Please create them and include what they're supposed to do. I don't even need to put .php because all I'm trying to do is to show you that this is something that can be done by someone who has very minimal technical knowledge, but then you can still build apps that you've always dreamt of. So let me just run it, and then all things being equal, it should tell me that, hey, all right, yeah, you're right, I noticed that these pages were not there and I'm going to create them. Okay, so what it wants to do right now is to examine the pages and understand the application structure before creating those pages, which makes sense because you can't just go ahead and create settings or reports page without actually going through the entire application to see what should be there. This is where an application like Cursor would beat it, because Cursor would have already noticed that this is how the structure is, because it holds that context. But then this is free, so even if it takes an hour for this application to be created, that's what we signed up for. I still believe that with the models that you have access to, it's always easy to have the latest and the best. That's the basic fact. It has already created the settings page, and just notice something. I'll navigate to this folder, and this is the folder where the application is. So you can see that there's a settings page right now already generated, and it's currently generating the reports page. One key difference between this and Cursor is the fact that as this has already generated, it appears in the folder automatically before you even click on accept. But for Cursor, you have to accept before you see it appearing in the folder. So yes, so you can see reports page has also been generated, and you only get to continue when it stops generating code. So it's still generating code. All you have to do is just be patient and take a sip of whatsoever it is that you are sipping. So for now, we have the pages almost done. I also noticed how slow this also generates its own code compared to Cursor, because this would have been something that would just generate so fast, but so far we are still waiting for it to do its thing. I would say I am really impressed with what I have seen so far regarding the application interface that it has built. So once this adds up, we would just try to find ways to populate the application. This is nice. It's already making a provision for us to export the report as CSV, and there's a filter section here where we can filter by, is it transactions? I guess. All right, so we can filter by date, and I'm really loving this, and I think I will find myself using this a lot, because the truth is I have thought about an application like this over 12 years ago, but that was before AI became a thing. So this is something that you would also witness when developing this, because it's for free. So there are some downsides to this as well. You can see that it's telling us that we have too many current requests, so our queue is on position this, because just like other AI tools that are free, you will be added to a particular queue. So please wait for a while to or switch to other models for a smoother experience. Maybe it's because we are using Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and I would also recommend that once you start using a particular model, just don't switch it. Keep using that particular model, because if you switch a model in the middle of a development process, then you would have to still give it some context, and in some cases you won't really get the response that you are looking for. Also, when you are using this, there was a time when I got this message, and it said model thinking limit reached, please enter continue to get more. And I didn't really have to type this continue. There was a link here that said continue, so all I did was just click on it and it said continue. So it continued from where it stopped, which is really nice. And this queue is moving really fast, so I'm just going to pause this video and come back when everything is done.
If you like what you've been watching so far, then a like to this video and a sub to the channel will be massively helpful. Now let's continue with the video.
Okay, so everything is now created, and then we would now accept all. The reason why I don't really mind accepting all is if there is something going on that I don't really like, I would automatically just ask it to change it. And once it's done, it gives you a summary of what it has done so far. It will tell you if it has updated anything, and it will tell you what it has done outside of what you've already told it to do. So it said I also enhanced the existing export file. So we didn't really talk about export file with it, I mean in the last prompt I gave it, but it felt like, all right, export file should be related to reports, I guess. So for this, I am going to just try refreshing the page, and all things being equal, we should have a reports page. Voila. This is also really nice. I mean, even the display, just look at this. Monthly summary, category analysis, and then a settings page. Good. So now we have the error on the settings page that needs to be handled. So how do we do this? If you have an error like this, all you need to do is, you don't even need to see what the error says exactly. All you need to do is just copy from here down to where the actual files in your computer are, and then just tell it what you can see. So for this, I would now tell it on the settings page, these are the errors I can see, kindly help me fix them. And then I copied the first and the second, so I just numbered them so everything just stays organized, and then we run. But I don't know if we still have to be on that queue because we've already been running some requests, and even if it means being on that queue, yes, this is a bit shorter, but then it's still doing the work. And what I intend to do right now is to use another AI system like Claude, for instance. So I can alternatively just use Claude or ChatGPT or DeepSeek, for instance, and then tell it that, hey, I have a code that does this. This is the page. So I would go to the settings.php file itself, open it up, then copy the entire code and then paste it somewhere here. From there, I would now ask it to fix the error, and if it gives me the solution, I would now copy the solution it has given me to that page and refresh. But then this does everything simultaneously. I mean, just as easy as you asking it to do something, and whatsoever it is that it has done, it's going to just implement it on the page as it is. So to populate this, what we want to do right now is I would now give it the database structure, just like we have here. I would now come to the schema section and then just tell it that this is the schema that we already have. So I'm just going to copy everything here. Below is a DB schema. Use it to give me dummy data to populate the database. With this, what we intend to get would be like a database script, a query, whereby we would now be able to just insert it into our current database, so we don't really need to manually put those values by ourselves, so we can use it to now test the app itself. So while this is still fixing, all right, so I think this is done fixing whatever it is that it was fixing. I'm just going to accept all and try refreshing the settings page, and we have our settings page working. This is really nice. Okay, so this is a fully functional application. Sadly, I mean, we are not even planning to use it for anything, but this is me showing you how you can do something like that. All right, so this is trying to generate, I should have given it a limit to the number of data it should generate, but then I'm still going to wait for this. So it's going to populate everything. So what we would do now is to come to the database itself, and then we will use the SQL section. So from the SQL section here, whatsoever it is that we have here, that's what we're going to paste in the SQL section, and it will automatically fill in the data. So let's wait for this to complete. All right, I think this is even done. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy it and come back to this SQL section and paste everything as it is. And everything is set. So I'm just going to click on go. All right, so we have our data inserted. And this is the DB. This is how it looks right now. We have everything there. If you click on categories, we have this. But the best way to see it would be when you come to dashboard. So you would be able to see all the things that you are. All right, this is how the app works in full. I mean, we have a lot of data, and then this particular data is one that is massive. It's quite massive. We have transactions, and look at the color, look at the usage of colors. When you click on transactions, this is how you see the transactions. When you click on reports, oh my goodness, the trend. How many minutes did it take us to build an app like this? Just think of it. This is the future, guys. Once you have the idea, the next thing you need to do is just implement it. So like I said in the intro, it's your imagination that's stopping you from building the next Facebook. So I would stop this video here. If you want me to make more videos on this, I would love to do that. So thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
If you have learned anything from this video, please click the Buy Me a Coffee link below. Every donation helps me to continue bringing this type of content to you.